I'm trying to go through this flow sheet with you for keeping your HEC in check, and I'm going to try and keep it as simple and as quick as possible. The flow chart itself is really quite self-explanatory. If you're really struggling with it, please just kind of send me an email and I'll try and go through it with you, even if we just do it over the phone briefly. Ultimately, every 2 to 3 days, initially, I'll get a longer period of time after that, you're going to want to ask yourself, is my HEC in check? If it is, we come straight down to the bottom of the screen and we can see that it says, excellent, continue with a couple more days with no changes, alright? And notice that we haven't even talked about whether your HEC's in check and whether you're still getting results. This is just about getting the HEC in check. This is the most important part of the metabolic program, because once you've got your HEC in check, then we can look at whether you're getting results or not. So the first thing you're going to do is add more protein, fibre and water to your meals. If you're having a protein shake for your breakfast, you can simply add an extra scoop. Chuck some veggies or some berries in there, like blueberries and raspberries. Add a bit more water into your shakes, and Bob's your uncle. If you're having a protein-based breakfast, you could think about adding an egg, maybe an extra slice of lean bacon, and obviously veggies you can add spinach and so on. Making sure you're having your extra water when you wake up. And I believe, I'll have to check this for you, but I believe that the 20 grams of protein works out to about 3 ounces of meat. But ultimately, in the first instance, what you can do is actually eat till you're satisfied, and then we can work on that later on. Again, if you then become satisfied and your HEC after a couple of days is totally in check, then you keep that regimen going. If we're saying, no, not yet, it's not in check, then you can, if you've got room, adjust the protein and veggie amount again, but just be aware of how much protein you're getting, okay? Without sounding crass, if you start to get a lot of gas that doesn't smell very pleasant, then you're generally probably eating too much protein that can't be processed in one sitting, so just watch out for that. Certainly go to adding more vegetables, because you can't really have enough vegetables. If that doesn't happen, then we add fat, and we don't mean like adding in a lot of lard. We ideally something like coconut oil or avocado are your good bets on this one. Okay, so that's your next step. Again, if that works for you, then don't change anything else. If it doesn't, then we're going to take the fat out that you've put in and we're going to add starch. Okay, so then we're looking at things like sweet potato, oats, quinoa, rice. They're the cleanest and most hypoallergenic carbohydrates you can get, but you're not adding those with the fats yet. So you've taken the fat out and you've used starch instead. Same process goes. How does that work for you for a few days? If that doesn't work, we're going to put the fat back in with the starch and have them both together. Try that for a couple of days. And then if that doesn't work, then we're looking to add in a couple of snacks. But again, we're not talking about Mars bars and crisps and toast and that kind of stuff. What we're looking at is good, healthy, nutritious snacks. We can look at things like less sweet fruits. You've got your nut allowance according to what kind of burner you are. You can have things like protein shakes. In desperate times, you can have a bit of a protein bar, depending on how much exercise you're doing. You've got lean meats you can have. We've got cottage cheese. We've got the protein pancakes. All these kind of things. But you've got to be working through that process. It's a really simple 5-step process to follow. And I would highly recommend that if you are serious about losing some body fat, that you take the time to work through this. It will take time, but it will mean you'll never have to go on a diet again. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, put your flow chart up somewhere you can see it. Take a picture of it on your phone so you know what you're doing. And if it doesn't make sense, send me an email and we'll go through it over the phone, or I'll try and kind of go through it at the end of one of the sessions. Okay? Cheers.